Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, April 25th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, hanging out with my compadre this morning. I got my bestie. I got the one and only Grace Monroe in the building. Grace, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Hector? Thanks for having me today. I'm so excited. Hi, Medina. Hi, everybody in the chat.
Of course. I'm super excited. First of all, shout out to my guy TC. TC, he had to take a family member to the airport this morning, so he couldn't join me. So when I was thinking about who am I going to reach out to, automatically I thought of Grace Monroe. I threw the bat signal out. Grace was able to respond. She came through. Appreciate you, Grace, taking time out this morning. I know it's 11 o'clock where I'm at. I know we live in two different time zones, so it's probably 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning where Grace is at. Grace, what time is it by you?
It's 10 o'clock in Texas.
Okay, it's 10 o'clock in Texas, 1 hour off. Not that bad. TC be waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll be feeling bad for him sometimes. But Grace, the Yankees won. Aaron Judge hit a home run after striking out. He struck out, right? And then a balk was called, and literally hit a home run right afterwards. I never saw that before. But Grace, I would throw it over to you. How do you feel after a 2-game winning streak from the Yankees?
Oh, man, I'm feeling good. When the machine is working, when the vision's coming together, you're really like, oh, we're going to roll this year. We are going to make waves this year. You know, when Soto gets on base and then Aaron Judge hit that home run, I was like, sheesh. You know what I mean? Like, that's the plan. That's the plan. It's all coming together. It's all happening.
Yes. The plan, the blueprint, as they say, is coming into full. Let me shout out the chat real quick. My guy Jacob Petruzzi is in the building. The save situation is in the building. Yes, Grace is live with us. Anthony Medina, mi hermano de la isla, is in the baby. Anna Marie says Grace has the most adorable voice out there. Listen, I've been telling Grace she needs to start doing cameo. That's where the money's at. She can start doing cameos for people out there. Teresa T is in the building. Shout out to Teresa. G-Man for Life is in the building. C Stone is in the building. My guy Cease, how you doing? Big Time Jerry, salute. 01LS1Z2ADABX. I love that name. Shout out to you, my guy. Salute. 3 capital S's. We got 50 people in the building. If you guys can, smack the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get right into the first topic, and you spoke about it a little bit. We got to talk about Aaron Judge, the captain who went yard in yesterday's game. On the season, Aaron Judge is hitting 191. He has 4 home runs, 13 RBIs. The OPS is starting to climb up the numbers, a 702 OPX. Max Goodman on Twitter, he put this out there. Brian Cashman, early in the afternoon, he said that Aaron Judge will get things going. Aaron Judge was 4 for 31. He had a 129 batting average, 16 strikeouts in his previous 8 games. He homered in last night's game to right field. Hopefully, this starts something good for Aaron Judge. We saw it in the game before. He had a few balls that warning track power. You can see the swing. It's coming back into fold with Aaron Judge. And you said it perfectly. When Aaron Judge and Juan Soto homered for the first time in the game together, the blueprint is starting to work out. Juan Soto walked. Aaron Judge hit him, drove him in with that home run. Grace, throw it over to you. Now, can Yankee fans take a chill pill and relax when it comes to the captain?
Oh man, I think for sure. Like, okay, first of all, I want to say on his bobblehead day when he got booed and everybody was talking about it, right? For the next couple days, that was all anybody was talking about. Yankees fans are so ridiculous. They were booing Aaron Judge, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. I'm not even going to say whether or not I think that was ridiculous or not. But I will tell you right now, it wasn't because he had 4 strikeouts. It was because of the way his at-bats went. His 4th strikeout that day was so bad. Like, the at-bat was so bad. Him trying to check his swings on balls and not being able to check it twice to get 2 of the strikes. It was just such a bad look that when he walked to the dugout, that's why he got booed. Not because he just simply struck out 4 times. It was the way he looked. Okay. And like you said, day before yesterday, he started looking better. And even though he didn't hit a home run or he didn't have like that much production, he looked better. And we all knew it, right? Did he get booed that day? No. But then yesterday, what happened? Here it comes, the progress. And so, yeah, I think we can all take a deep breath, a sigh of collective relief, as they say, because we need Aaron Judge. You know, Juan Soto's great, but we need Aaron Judge.
Yeah, in 162 games, you need everybody to contribute, especially your big boppers. Aaron Judge, he's the big money man, especially in the lineup. I know pitching side, Garrett Cole makes his money, but when it comes to that lineup, the offense, Aaron Judge, he's a captain. He's the big money maker for right now. So there's a lot of responsibility that falls on his shoulders. My fault, Grace. Go ahead. You could go.
I think a lot. I've heard some chatter too about people saying, "Oh, this is Juan Soto's team. This is Juan Soto's team." I'm like, false. False. We love Juan Soto. Don't get it twisted. Yes. We love Juan Soto. Okay. But this is Aaron Judge's team. He is the captain. He's the man. He chose to come back to New York, took less money to come back to New York. Don't forget, loyalty matters. He cares. It's his team. Juan Soto is a big contributor. Maybe his, what is it called? Like consigliere or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's Judge's team. So.
Yeah. Listen. I think if you would have asked Aaron Judge on the inside, he'll probably say, "This is my team. I'm the captain of this team." But externally, Aaron Judge is going to say, "Listen, Juan Soto's that guy. I know Aaron Judge. He's finally happy that he has someone that he knows he can go to war with in Juan Soto." Right. And I bring this up when people compare money. Juan Soto most likely is going to get not most likely. He is going to get a big contract this offseason, and his AAV is going to be higher than Aaron Judge. When Derek Jeter and A-Rod was together, I don't think Derek Jeter cared that A-Rod was making more money because Derek Jeter already won championships. Derek Jeter was making more money when it comes to endorsements. And I think it's the same way with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. Even though Aaron Judge hasn't won a championship, he is still happy. He don't care that Juan Soto's making more money than him because he still has $35 million a year going to his bank account. I got one more person backstage that I want to bring up. My guy Damian Serrano was here. I'm going to bring up Damian to join me and Grace right now. Merk's so saucy. Heck, I'm still waiting for that game in MLB to show. Merk, I got you, my guy. I got you. I pinky promise. I'm doing the pinky promise. I got you. We got to get that game in the MLB to show. Damian, let me get a thumbs up, my guy. Let me know you're ready to rock out. All right, let me bring my guy Damian up. Hold on. Wait, because there's a lot of buttons. Damian Serrano, the fly guy, is in the building. Yo. Dame, how you doing, my guy?
I'm good. I'm happy the first time I get to share the stage with Miss Grace. Absolutely. Hector, my man, how you doing today?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. You know, just another day in New York City. The Yankees won. I'm getting ready for the next game later on today.
Oh, yeah.
Grace and Gio is going live at 8 o'clock tonight. Make sure you guys all tune in for that one. But I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. How are you feeling after the Yankees won?
I'm feeling great, man. Judgy, back in the swing of things. First time we got Judgy and Soto. Same lineup, hitting bangers. And look, Schmidt, out there doing this thing. We're getting exactly what we want out of fifth starter. 3.55 ERA. What can you ask for out of a fifth starter? You can't really ask for anything more.
No.
I know we want him to go deeper, so on and so forth, but for a fifth starter, a 3.55 ERA, what more can you ask for? If he was our number 2, number 3, we'd have problems. But he's our number 5. So
Yeah.
fans, give Smitty a little pass on that. So.
Yeah, and I think that's a great segue into the conversation. We're going to talk about the pitching side of things because we did have other pitchers that pitched in the game. But Grace, I'm going to throw it over to you. I want to get your take when it comes to Clarke Schmidt because, like Damian said, as a 5th starter, he is a solid option as your number 4, your number 5th starter. Anything more than that you're asking out of Clarke Schmidt, you're asking for too much. But what's your take when it comes to Clarke Schmidt so far this season, Grace?
I mean, if we keep putting up 7 runs, is 3.5 ERAs, no T. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love watching how much he's grown. You know, I remember last year at the beginning of the year, we were stressing every time he was on the mound. You know, he stepped up when we needed him for injuries or whatever. And he's been kind of a unsung hero of this crew, I think. Yeah. So I'm proud of him. He's going to keep developing. He's going a little bit deeper into games. Keep going that way. Keep stretching it out, and yeah, we'll see where he goes. I think his future is bright.
Now, there are some question marks when it comes to Clarke Schmidt. The first 2 times through a rotation, he's solid. I think opponents are hitting less than 250 against Clarke Schmidt the first and second time through the lineup. But it's that 3rd time through the lineup that gave Clarke Schmidt his issues. You saw it yesterday in that 6th inning. Through the first 5 innings, Clarke Schmidt, he looked untouchable. Once we got into that 6th inning, honestly, after the 5th inning, I thought Clarke, looking at his pitch count, I'm like, okay, maybe he could pitch it to the 7th. Let's see what we could get out of Clarke Schmidt. That 6th inning, he was rocked. The Oakland A's, they recognized his fastball, his difference between his fastball and his breaking pitch. They was able to sit on fastball, and he got that home run. So I think that's a question mark when it comes to Clarke Schmidt. I do agree with you, Damian. As a 4th starter, as a 5th starter, he is a solid option. But in the postseason, you got to make sure, all right, Clarke Schmidt, you only go in the first 2 times through the rotation. Even if that's only 4 innings, even if that's only 5 innings, you're not seeing that lineup for a 3rd time because the numbers show they tee off on you on that 3rd time. I know confidence goes a lot with it. Maybe it's something mentally. He automatically knows, okay, this is the 3rd time through the lineup. I can't get these guys out. It's batting practice time. I don't know if that's the thought process that he has, but whatever it is, the Yankees, they got to make sure when it's time, when it matters in the postseason, you got to be able to have him on a short leash. That's the only criticism I have of Clarke Schmidt. What's your thoughts on that, Dave?
I agree, man. You know, with Schmitty, you know, I think it's a mental situation with him. I think it's a mental press. If you looked at the home run he gave up last night, he missed his spots. You know what I mean? So I think a little fatigue played a part as well. I love the fact that he goes back to the dugout and Cole's coaching him up. I love to see Cole on the dugout coaching him up. But, you know, when Cole comes back, I believe Heel is probably going to go to the pen only because, not because he doesn't have the stuff or he deserves it, only because his stuff plays better in the pen. And I don't think Clarke fits the mold of a pen guy, to be honest. I don't want to see Heel go back to the pen. I really don't, but I think his stuff plays better, especially we need help in the pen right now. So I can see Hill being, you know, maybe a two inning guy out the pen, give them a little bit more length. You know, if Weaver can't handle it, we have a short outing from Clarke. I could see them piggybacking Clarke with Hill when Cole comes back. So, but with Clarke, I think it's a mental thing. Once that 3rd time around comes, that 5th inning comes, the 6th inning comes, that mental block hits, and then he just a little fatigue, a little a pitch count. I think with Clarke, he should pitch backwards once it comes to that 6th inning. Start pitching backwards, because start out with your soft stuff, going with the hard later, because now they already know your routine. They already know what you're throwing. They already know what's coming, so they're gearing up for it. So pitch a little backwards, and that's where Trevi or Wells needs to come in and help him out.
Yeah, I want to shout out some people in the chat. I'll throw it over to Grace. Shout out to my friend Erica Garcia from Twitter. Erica says, "Your people, I'm at work, and work is delaying me from tuning into the hottest Yankee pod on the earth." Erica, I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Whenever you're free, you know you're more than welcome to join us up here on the panel for the conversation. Shout out to Anna Marie. Anna Marie says, "Garrett Cole is like Obi-Wan Kenobi to the guys," and I love that. Go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, you know I love Daddy Cole.
Yeah, I saw that from Anna. I was like, I got to say this before I throw it over to Grace. Go ahead.
The other day, when was it when Soto hit a home run, I think, and no, wait, who was it? I think it was Soto, and Garrett Cole was like waving like one of those.
Yeah.
It reminded me of one of those like car wash balloon guys.
The
you know?
balloon, yeah.
I was just tickled to death. Him being in the dugout, I mean, just locked in every pitch, helping the guys. Like, he is a Yankee. He bleeds blue. Like, he is. I just love him so much. He's the other captain too. He's like the unnamed captain for real.
Absolutely.
And God, I love him so much. I've seen him talking a lot to Rodon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his influence has been really invaluable. It's like because he hasn't been starting and he's been on the IL, he has more time to spend with the other pitchers and to invest in their pitching and their bullpen sessions and whatever. And I think that may come out later to have been very influential to our starting rotation. I mean, our ERA overall is very low right now. Like, it's incredible how our starters who we piecemeal together have really stepped up, and we're in first place without Garrett Cole. Like, who would have thought? You know what I mean?
We're in first place without Garrett Cole and with Aaron Judge hitting below 200. I'm sorry, Grace. Go ahead. Keep cooking.
Period. No, that's. I mean, when it came across my little phone that Garrett Cole was out with UCL, and I was like, I screamed. I'm not lying, y'all. I screamed and I fell on the bed. Yes, I'm dramatic, but I was like, no, and I fell on the bed. I was like, we're done. We're cooked. I mean, I of course I am dramatic, but yes, I was like, it's over. It's not over. Like, we are in first place. People should be afraid. People should be circling the Yankees dates on their season calendar because we're about it this year.
I just want to add some stats for Grace Monroe and her context, because she was talking about our pitching staff. Just so everybody know, the New York Yankees pitching staff is tied with the Cleveland Guardians and with the Atlanta Braves for 17 wins. I guess that's just the wins in all of Major League Baseball. Now, when you go to ERA, it's surprising. The Boston Red Sox, they have the number one team ERA with a 2.49 ERA. Then it's the New York Yankees with a 2.95 ERA. I know it's only April 25th. We're not even done with the first month of the season, but that's a good note to put, because like Grace said, we literally duct taped this starting rotation together after the injury was announced with Garrett Cole. When it comes to saves, the New York Yankees are number one in all of Major League Baseball with 13 saves. When it comes to strikeouts, that's where the New York Yankees start to fall off in their pitching rotation. Their starting staff, when it comes to team strikeouts, hold on, let me just make sure I get this right. The New York Yankees are 15th in the middle of all of Major League Baseball. That is the only stat that they're not either top three or number one when it comes to their pitching.
We have a lot of contact pitchers, don't we? It feels like.
Yeah. That's why it's important for this defense to be A1. This defense has to be focused in. And I know there's a lot of concerns about Gleyber Torres. I understand that, right? No matter what your concerns are with Gleyber Torres, I get that. We have no answer for that spot at second base at the moment. DJ LeMahieu most likely won't even play for the Yankees this season, or if at any time for the Yankees this season because of his foot. That's one. We got Birdie. Birdie has turned into Ben Rothbach. He's turned into Patrick Swayze in the movie Ghost. Where the fuck is Brett Birdie? All right, I don't know where he's at. Okay, that's the second thing. The third thing, Oswald Peraza. That's another kid who's missing. This would have been the perfect opportunity for Peraza to take this chance and to show that he belongs in the big leagues. But he's not here. And regardless of what we think about Gleyber Torres, defensively, offensively, Gleyber Torres is still a top 10 second baseman in all of Major League Baseball. I know we criticize him for his lack of hustle. I know we criticize him because he has some moments where he's absent and just disappears defensively and mentally out there on the field. I get that. I do get that. Michael Caputo says Odor. Yeah, and Odor, Rude Odor, he sucks too down there in the minor leagues. Shout out to Odor that's down there. But no, like I was saying, when it comes down to it, we have no replacement for Gleyber Torres. And even if we had a replacement for Gleyber Torres is still a top 10 second baseman in Major League Baseball. Go ahead, Dave.
I mean, the one thing that we got to watch out for, and that's the guy in AAA, Yorbit, Rivas. The guy is back. He's back off the IL. So hopefully, not for nothing, but hopefully that sparks a fire under Gleyber's ass. Gleyber is his worst enemy. It's all mental with Gleyber. He wears it. You can see it. He always looks like he's just lost his best friend, his puppy, whatever the case may be. And Gleyber, the last 2 years has led the team in average. The guy can hit. For whatever reason, I don't know what the mental block is this season, but Gleyber's got to get out of it. I love the dude. I'm a Gleyber supporter. I'm a supporter of a lot of our players, but Gleyber specifically, because the guy, I think the Yankees did him a disservice a couple years ago, sending him to shortstop. That totally stopped his progression, totally stopped his development. And then they put him back to second, and slowly he started becoming the Gleyber Torres we expected. Now, this season, I think the pressure of him being a free agent, him wanting to be a Yankee, the Yankees don't want him. I think it's all getting to him at this point. And it's showing on the field, defensively and offensively. And it's a shame because the guy is talent-wise, he's one of the most talented second basemen in the league.
Oh, definitely. I'm going to throw it over to Grace Monroe just to get her opinion when it comes to the Gleyber Torres situation. While I'm doing that, I'm going to bring up our friend Erica to join us in the conversation. Erica is backstage, so I'm going to bring her up. Grace, I'll throw it over to you. Keep cooking. Go ahead. Keep cooking and serving the plates because I'm hungry this morning. We got a lot to talk about. Go ahead, Grace.
Well, y'all know I'm not the biggest Gleyber supporter. I support the team. I want him to do well. Let me be clear. But I think that I feel satisfied. How do I say this in a nice way? I feel satisfied that this is going to be his last year as a Yankee. Does that mean you say, oh, he's top 10 shortstop in baseball? I'm like, yeah, because of his offense. Like, he had the most errors at shortstop last year, period, in the league.
Yeah, at second base, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Thank you. At second base. Duh. But yeah, I think when he's hitting, we can forgive his absent-mindedness in the infield more. But when he's not hitting like right now, and I don't want to be unfair because obviously everybody goes through slumps and ups and downs, but it makes it a lot harder to swallow his fielding. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I look forward to, I don't really care who can come replace him someday. Peraza, sure. Arias, sure. Like whoever, I don't know. Move Volpe over. Even though I don't think we should move Volpe over anymore. I know we were all talking about that for a while. Yeah. But whoever, DJ, I don't know, whoever. Like if he's not going to hit, that's going to be a real problem for me. If he gets hot, I know he had a hit last night. So maybe he's turning a corner. I hope so. But yeah, I think he has a mental block, and he's got so much pressure on himself. He knows this is a walk year. He knows the Yankees aren't going to make him an offer. They have never feigned that they were going to extend him or make him an offer at all. And he's not dumb. He knows that. So he knows he's playing for his job, and it's just a lot of pressure on him. He's got a lot of people in the order hitting a lot, putting even more offensive pressure on him. Whereas last year he didn't have that pressure. Nobody was hitting. Except him. So true. Yeah, I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit to make the point, but you get what I'm saying. So
no, and fair point and everything like that when it comes to Gleyber Torres. I always was a big fan of Gleyber Torres, especially when the Yankees traded for him as a young prospect, and from the Cubs, he's supposed to be the number one prospect in all of Major League Baseball. He just never lived up to the expectations. Now, I'm not sure if it's confidence. I'm not sure if the Yankees moving him from second base to shortstop that first time he got exposed defensively, and maybe he never recovered mentally from that exposure at the shortstop position. They moved him back to second base, but like you said, last year he was the worst fielding, the most errors at his position last year as a second baseman. Phenomenal offensively, but it's just defensively he checks out sometimes. It's just some games he's just being, and I get it. I have ADHD. It'd be sometimes I'd be up here talking with you guys and Damien's talking, and I'm like, wow, Power Rangers, the season 2, episode 7. I remember the plot line from it and everything. And then I come back to it like, oh shit, he's talking about pitching. Okay, I see what Damien's saying now. Erica, I want to throw it over to you to get your take on the conversation. Good morning to you, Erica. I hope all is well. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. My Rangers are 2-0, the Knicks are 2-0, the Yankees are winning. You know what I'm saying? Given where we've been in the past 5 years, especially when it came to the Rangers and the Knicks, and especially last year with the Yankees, all is good right now. We cannot complain. We got to appreciate what we are seeing right now. It might not end the way we want it to, but right now you ride the wave and it's fun, and it hasn't been
Facts.
fun for a while.
Yeah,
So,
Mm.
facts,
yeah.
facts. I like that. And talking about fun, I'm going to throw it over to you to lead the conversation on this new topic, right? But Juan Soto hitting a home run, and this is what Aaron Boone had to say on both Soto and Judge hitting a home run in the same game. It's kind of all warm and fuzzy on the inside. It's kind of like hot chocolate on a cold day. As a Yankee fan,
That's
I
an
want to
Aaron
ask
Boone
you
quote. That's a
that's an
Boone
Aaron Boone
quote.
quote right there. All he was missing was the
Quote.
gluten-free cupcakes. That's all he was
Yes.
missing. But I want to throw it over to you, Erica. Let's get your take as a Yankee fan, seeing both of them homer in the same game for the first time. What was your thoughts on that? And speaking on what Booney was talking about, the hot chocolate and feeling all warm and fuzzy.
I'm down with that, but for me, it's like a Corona with a nice lime in it. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you go. I
There
would have
you
rather
go.
I'll
that
take
one.
that
There
as
you
a
go.
Yeah.
But listen, this is what you get Juan Soto for. If that is any indication of where the season is going to go now, now that that has gotten out of the way, like we're waiting for it to be Stanton, Soto, and Judge homering on the same day. That's it. That's what we were dreaming of during spring training, and for the point that they signed Soto. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I still want to see a little bit more consistency with Judge. I think we are benefiting from playing the A's. Maybe that's the spark that you need, right, to just get the offense
Yep.
going. But I want to make sure that this continues when you see, teams like, I don't know who has a good pitching rotation, but like that we're playing
Seattle.
upcoming, like yeah, like Seattle or even the Brewers, because they're a
Yeah.
really good team. We're going to be playing them.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that we see consistency. But yeah, it's beautiful. We've been dreaming about this
Mhm.
forever now, and it seems like it's coming to fruition, even if it's a small sample size right now. But the
Mhm.
summer, if this is again any indication of what the summer is going to look like, and the rest of the season, then sign me up, because anybody takes it. I mean, Juan Soto's been the most consistent guy on the team, so you know that he's always going to be there. But it's also very important that when he does go through his slumps, because every baseball player is going to go through it. You got that guy,
Mhm.
Aaron Judge, behind him that's going to pick him up. So
Mhm.
that's another important factor for me, is that they're able to pick each other up. Soto's been picking up the team the first 20 games of the season, so let's keep it going.
When you look at the lineup also from yesterday's game, another player who's been struggling a little bit, Anthony Volpe. He had 2 hits, 2 for 5 in yesterday's game. He had a triple, which some people are saying it shouldn't be a triple. Listen, it's still a triple in my eyes at the end of the day.
I'll
But
take it.
I'll take it also. With Judge and Volpe finally starting to come around, do you see Juan Soto, like, because over the past 2 games or 3 games, I could say that Juan Soto has been pressing. He's been going out, expanding the strike zone, going out of the strike zone, doing stuff that normally you don't see from Juan Soto, trying to get this offense jump kicked and start. Can you envision now, if Volpe and Judge keep going, that we'll see a better version of Juan Soto than we've seen in the early part of the season? Is there a way that Juan Soto could just up his game just a little bit more? What's your thoughts about that? And I get it. I'm being a Juan Soto simp right now. I'm enjoying the Kool-Aid. I get it, people. Go ahead, Erica.
See Juan Soto be better. I mean, I think he's exceeding expectations right now.
Mhm.
At the beginning of the season, we were like, yo, is it possible that Juan Soto is better than what we thought? So if it makes him even better, I mean, it's going to, right? You're gonna have
Mhm.
people on base for him, so he can maybe focus on making contact rather than working the walk. But you also love that he works the walk in front of a guy like Judge. So if you can continue doing that and Judge gets hot, then you got either one or two runners on for him. So
Mhm.
yeah, it can definitely make him better. It can make him more relaxed, because he knows that people can either be picking him up, or that he's in a comfortable situation that he can drive in a run, and not
Mhm.
have to go for the big one. But yeah, I mean, I think he's already exceeding expectations. So if he's able to even up it one more step, unlock a new level, then dude, he's definitely getting that $600+ million contract.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
definitely. And
why. I'll tell you
Go
why
ahead.
he expanded the strike zone just this much, because the other day he struck out looking and the pitcher ain't throwing a single fucking strike.
That's
So he said,
another
go.
one
"Oh,
too,
really?"
Grace.
Yeah,
That's
he said,
another
"Oh,
one too
really?
when it comes to
Really?"
these umpires.
Exactly. See, speak on it. So what's he supposed to do? They didn't even throw him a strike. He struck out. Are you kidding? He said,
There's
"Okay,
two
bet."
chats. There's two chats that I want to highlight real quick. One from Anna Marie. Anna Marie just says, "I've just loved everyone being more patient at the plate and drawing more walks. This is the Soto effect." Absolutely.
Facts.
And then my guy NYY News El Numero Uno Ruben says, "Mi gente, buenos dias. Good morning. Haven't been able to join the lives, but keep up the content. My Yankee familia." Ruben, my guy, you know I love you, brother. Grace, I'm gonna throw it over to you now. Talk about the one. So speak on it. Stand on business and let these umpires know how you feel. Grace, go ahead.
Oh my God, the umpires. How long do y'all have? I can go off. Okay. First of all, for real, these umpires are absolute like dog water. What is going on? You know what I mean? It's the worst I've ever. What's going on? Is this the worst it's ever been? It feels like it's the worst.
I was gonna say it's been historically bad for me looking at the umpires, and we're gonna go every game after every game every Tuesdays and Thursday morning. We're gonna bring up the umpire scorecards. You guys can go to umpirescorecards.com to check out every result from every game, every pitch, every inning from every umpire. The standard that Major League Baseball wants their umpires to be is at 95% when it comes to their accuracy. The umpire from yesterday's game, Nick Marley or Marharley, whatever, however you pronounce his dumbass name, he had 10 incorrect calls. He had an accuracy of 93.8%. Better than Hunter Wendell's stat, but it's still not at the 95% that MLB wants for their umpires. Go ahead, Grace. Keep cooking.
Are we still on the umpires? Because
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna
No,
say
Juan
something
Soto.
about
Go Juan Soto. You
Okay,
can talk about Juan Soto.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so y'all know my husband. He's not a Yankees fan. I know. Nobody's perfect.
We still love him though. He's still a good guy.
He supports me. Yeah, we watch the Yankees in the house. But he's technically a Texas Rangers fan, and I've been working on him. I've been trying to get him to convert, but last year the Rangers won, and it's been making it real hard for me. Okay. But I tell him every time Juan Soto is at bat, I'm like, babe, come here. You have to watch this at bat. Like, I don't care if you watch any of the rest of the game. Every time Juan Soto's at the plate, I'm calling him over and I'm like, you have to watch the entire at bat. Because I told him you see him every once in a while, like when he was with the Padres or when he was with the Nationals and they came to town or whatever. And you're like, yeah, this guy's really good, whatever. When you watch him 4 times a day, every day, you really start to see that this man is next level special superstar, like one of the best that's ever done it. I'm not even exaggerating. And I told my husband, this might be, and I hope to God not, and I don't think he'll leave, but it might be his only season in pinstripes. So I'm like gonna relish it and just enjoy every moment. And I really, really want to share that with my husband because it's so special. But I wanted to bring this up because they said this the other day on the broadcast. Only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 players in the history of baseball have had a 420 OBP and 150 home runs through their first 800 games. In history. The names are Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Ted Williams, Frank Thomas, and Juan Soto.
And the crazy
that's
part,
his group.
The crazy part about it, all of those names that you mentioned outside of Juan Soto, they all played before the 1960s. So there hasn't been a player. There hasn't been a player since the 1950s or the 60s that is doing or has done what Juan Soto has done so far. And we're not even in his prime. He hasn't even hit 30 years old. He is still 26. And to Grace's point, Juan Soto, like you said, when he came to New York with the Nationals or the Padres, we all thought that he was special. Seeing the highlights, it was special. But when you watch him on a day in and day night basis, every at bat, you could tell every at bat he goes up there like it's his last at bat. He doesn't give at bats away. Last year, how many times Anthony Volpe's up there, Anthony Rizzo's up there, Giancarlo Stanton? and the count is 0-2, and they're like, you know what? I come back the next at bat. This one, I'm just gonna give it up. Juan Soto, he doesn't give up at bats. He doesn't give up every at bat. He locks in and he keys in like it's his last at bat, and you know he's going right when he's nodding his head and he's smiling and he got the shuffle going. As a fan base, you buy into that. And I was a bit nervous, and I'll throw it over to Damian and then Erica to get their take on this. I was nervous when the Yankees first got Juan Soto because I thought the Yankees were going to try to neuter Juan Soto or try to infantile Juan Soto and tell him, listen, that shuffle, bring it down a little bit. Listen, that thing that you do, bring it down a little bit. No, the Yankees are leaning into what he's doing. Their social media team is leaning into what Juan Soto is doing. And I think as young Yankee fans are watching this team, we're going to have a new generation of Yankee fans that are Yankee fans because of Juan Soto. Only because of Juan Soto. And I think that right there, it wins the young kids over what Juan Soto does. Shout out to my guy, Rod Thompson in the building. Rod, my guy, salute to you. Dope seeing my guy Rod on Saturday. Shout out to D-Rod in the building. D-Rod says, fun fact, all of Frank Thomas's ex-girlfriends gave him the name The Big Hurt. Okay, D-Rod. Rod was the wrong Frank Thomas, but I know what you're saying. Dame, I'll throw it over to you. Get your take on Juan Soto before we switch gears. And I apologize for D-Rod in the chat. I should have read the comment first before bringing it up. Go ahead, Damian.
Better than expected. Listen, he intimidates pitchers on that mound. Banging the hip, the shuffle, looking at I think he intimidates the umpires too. Because the umpires know, listen, I might have got that call wrong. To Soto, nobody knows the zone like Soto. And it's a trickle-down effect from the young guys all the way, even a judge. When you got Soto doing what he's doing, and then you got Judge doing what he's doing, and Lord knows Rizzo coming from behind now with 2 home runs in two consecutive games, giving Judge that protection as well. You're only extending the lineup. Big G is doing what he's doing, but when it comes to Juan Soto, like you said, Hector, to kind of piggyback what you said, you're gonna have a young generation of young fans that are gonna follow this guy's lead, and which means that there's a lot of jerseys being sold, a lot more chicken buckets being sold, a lot more everything being sold, which means there's no excuse for Hal Steinbrenner to say, we just don't have the money. We just we're not willing to pay him. And I don't care about Steve Cohen's money. He's got money, but the one thing the Yankees have are the Yankees. They have this on their forehead. Legacy. Every single game. They have the legacy. They have Monument Park, and it means something to be a Yankee. It's the only emblem you see, whether you're in the United States or you're in Asia. So at the end of the day, as long as the fan base continues to follow him, love him, which they do, Lord knows they love him at this point more than they do Judge. But this is Judge's team. Let's not get it twisted. I mean, there's nobody like him. And on top of it, his defense is better than expected. He's worked on it. The big knock on Soto was his defense is so-so. He's gone out there and played right field just as good as anybody else could have. So top to bottom, Soto, he's a leader of the younger guys on this team. They follow him. Cabrera, Lord, Gleyber can use a little some Soto knowledge at this point, but there's nobody like him in the league. Nobody is like this kid. No one. Nobody controls the zone like him. Nobody hits like him. Nobody intimidates like Juan Soto on the batting field. Nobody.
Yeah, and when you bring up the young kids, they got to grow up watching Juan Soto and becoming fans of Juan Soto and Juan Soto only. I got 2 people backstage that I'm going to bring up. I got my guy NFE, and then I got my guy Chris from Yankees Pod. I'm going to bring them up to join us right now. I just want to say this real quick. When you have those young kids growing up, I remember as being a young kid in high school, when the Yankees had Gary Sheffield for those 2-3, it was very short. It wasn't that long. For those 2-3 years, thank you, Erica, I was doing this. This. And that was from 2 years of an older Gary Sheffield out of his prime. Imagine having Juan Soto for the next 10 to 15 years. How many kids are going to be imitating him? I remember growing up also. How many times you guys were putting on your batting gloves and stuff and you're doing the same thing Derek Jeter was doing? or doing the same thing, even though he was on the Red Sox, doing the same thing Nomar Garcia-Parra was doing with the batting gloves. Again, even though he was on the Red Sox, but if he was a Yankee, how many of y'all would have loved been doing that if he was on the Yankees? Let's be honest. So
Absolutely.
I bring that up to say that when it comes to marketing, when it comes to getting your player in front of the right eyes, sometimes the ideas that you draw on the clipboard aren't the best ideas. Sometimes those players, they just have it naturally. And Juan Soto, he has it naturally. The way, Erica, you've been to the stadium just as much as I've been to the stadium. The way he interacts with after every out, he is turning around and acknowledging the fans in right field after every out. I never saw that from a Yankee. Nick Swisher was awesome. He was great. He wasn't doing what Juan Soto was doing in the right field, interacting with the fans, going back and forth, looking at the flag. The amount of Dominican flags that are out there in right field in Yankee Stadium, I never saw that before. I'm going to bring up NFE real quick, and I want to get his take on it. NFE, my guy, let me get a thumbs up. Let me know you're ready to rock out, my guy, ready to go. NFE, my brother, salute to you, my guy. Shout out to you.
What up?
NFE.
What's
Chilling,
up,
bro? Chilling,
How's
bro.
everybody doing?
Talking Juan Soto. You know, we have some Met fans out there still delusional, thinking that he's gonna go to Queens after this season. What are you doing? Talking about Met fans. Shout out to my guys from the Mets Evening Brew last night. My guy Eddie, Phil, and my guy Alvin Cintron. They had Evan Roberts from WFAN. Evan Roberts is a legend in the industry. I love Evan Roberts. Big fan from Evan Roberts. Thank you for coming on to the show, blessing us with your presence. It was a great convo, right? I know they're Met fans, but it was still a great baseball conversation at the end of the day. I advise you guys, if you missed it out, go and watch it just for a little bit. It was a good conversation. But NFE.
Watch it just for Eddie going crazy.
Yeah. Watch it for Eddie
Just for
going
that.
crazy, going back and forth. Yeah. But NFE, I'm going to throw it over to you, brother. Let's get your take on Juan Soto before we switch gears. I want to talk about DJ LeMahieu, and we're going to go through the lineup and the pitching from yesterday's game. Go ahead.
No doubt. Mets, Juan Soto. What? I don't know what these people are talking about, but anyway, Juan Soto. I every time I get asked this question, I say my answer is every single time. My answer is it's Juan Soto. What more can you say about him? Right? Generational player, consistent at the plate. Very patient at the plate. He just intimidates pitchers, man. Those pitchers are doing what they can to, strike him out, get him out. But he's just a generational player, man. He's a rare type of player. There's not another player after him or before him that's his caliber. It's Juan Soto, man. And look, I know there's some delusional Mets fans out there, and there's some, and I'll mention a few delusional Yankees fans saying that Hal's not going to spend the money, but I don't know what these people are smoking, but I would love to know. But they're going to spend money on this guy. They didn't just bring him in just to bring him in. Come on,
Yeah.
let's be real about this.
Absolutely.
They're going to make him a top priority,
Mhm.
But no, I love having Juan Soto. He's a good fit for the Yankees. He's a good fit in the Bronx. I mean, what more can you say about him?
Yeah. I just want to throw it out there. We got over 200 people in the building rocking with us right now. If you guys are watching us on Instagram, X, Facebook, wherever you're watching us, click the link in the bio, jump on over to YouTube. On YouTube, we are sitting at 4,181 subscribers, on our way to 5K. Help us get to 5K by hitting the subscribe button. It's free. You don't got to do anything. Maybe you got to do a little bit of effort, some sweat equity, whatever it is, just smack the subscribe button for you guys. But I want to switch the conversation. I want us to talk about DJ LeMahieu because the news came out. DJ LeMahieu, he was down there for a rehab game with Scranton. No, he was with Somerset. And he won at bat, one inning in the field, and they had to take him out. His rehab is done. Gary Phillips put it out there. The Yankees, this is from Aaron Boone. Residual edema. Edema is the pooling of liquid, the pooling of water, the pooling of blood in a certain area. So he may have edema in the bottom part of that ankle or the bottom part of the foot. Edema is nothing. You should be worried about blood pooling or liquid pooling in any part of the body. If that gets infected, that could lead to other things. So you should be alarmed hearing that from DJ LeMahieu, especially coming back from injury. Any liquid buildup coming back out of a surgery is very alarming right there. Erica, I'm gonna throw it over to you and then throw it over to Grace. I want to get your take when it comes to DJ LeMahieu. And do you think we'll see La Máquina on the field this year?
Man, that's actually a tough pill to swallow. I know we were just talking about him coming back on the last show and how much value he can add as far as coming off the bench, especially for these guys that are struggling or slumping. So it's tough because it just seems like he might not be on this team this year. He's
Mm-hmm.
just been battling these foot issues for a while now, and then pair that with the hip or in any other issues that he has. I just don't see him coming back now, and that's like I said, it really does suck because I'm not expecting him to be the leadoff guy or
Mm-hmm.
be the 320 hitter, but again, he is a valuable dude, and just like you were mentioning before, Grace, as far as I wouldn't say he's a captain, but he's so knowledgeable about the game, and he can just really help being in that clubhouse. So yeah, it stinks. I don't at this point. What are you gonna do? You didn't start the season with him, so you can't say like, oh, this is what we potentially lost because you don't know what you were gonna get out of him. But I really that contract looks tough. It's and I mean, I hope for the best, but I just can't see it happening. I don't know what's even the update with Birdie. Like, what is our situation with our super utility at this point? Because we know Cabrera
I think
is
he's
pretty
starting
much the
rehabs.
full-time third baseman, but we need to get somebody to come off the bench to be able to hold down these guys like Torres or Rizzo that just needs a day off because he's older. So, yeah, it's a bummer. I don't think he's. I don't know if we see him this season. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Same thing. Go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, it's I agree with Erica. It is a precarious situation. Right now, everybody who's been playing is healthy. But if one person were to go down, we would really, really, really feel the absence of our super utility guy. And we would really feel the absence of DJ. Right now, we're not really feeling it because Cabrera's been hot. And, we're all like, oh, hey, we're like pleasantly surprised and we're trucking along. Like, we're in first place. But I do think that it is a big loss. His calm demeanor, right, in the dugout and in the clubhouse is kind of I wouldn't say needed, but like it's a different energy than a lot of the guys on the squad this year. So it's a balancing energy. It would have been a balancing energy on this lineup, which it sucks. And he's so experienced. There was a time I remember when if we needed a ball to be put in play, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted DJ LeMahieu at bat. I
Oh yeah.
felt the most comfortable that we could depend on him in a clutch situation to put the ball in play. Maybe not a power bat necessarily, but like bat a guy in, get a runner in. And man, I miss those days. And I feel like it's so unfortunate. Like Erica said, these injuries he's been struggling with and he can't get past them. When he took that ball on his foot and he went down, the way he went down, I knew it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
And I remember my husband was like, he'll be okay. He'll be okay. And I said, he's not okay because I
Yeah.
know him. I feel like I know these players because you spend so much time with them. You watch them day in, day
Yeah.
out, 162 games a year, spring training, all the post-game press conferences, this and that. I mean, I feel like I know these guys. And when he went down, I was like, nope, it's not okay.
Yeah.
And I
And
know he wanted to get back so bad. And him getting pulled
Mhm.
out of the game after the first inning was a heartbreaker.
No, but like you said, Grace, DJ, very valuable piece, right? I don't want to shit on DJ LeMahieu. When we first got him, I'm like, okay, another guy from Colorado that hit well in Colorado. Let's see what he could do outside and away from Coors Field. He was phenomenal for us for the first 2 years. Won a batting title in that COVID season. Almost won a batting title his first year here with us. He lost out to Tim Anderson, but Father Time and injuries, they are undefeated. And he got old real fast, and the injuries caught up to DJ LeMahieu real fast. And I said this on the last show: if you're a baseball player, as soon as you start to get hip surgery, you're done. Your baseball career, you're done. You cannot turn into that, and you can't turn that inside fastball and pull it down the left field line. You are done. We saw it with Alex Rodriguez. You see it with so many different baseball players. It happens to them. It happened to Vladimir Guerrero his last year. He got a hip injury his last year with Texas. I think it was Texas or Baltimore, and he wasn't able to pull that fastball. He was never the same hitter. So it happens. It catches up to you. It just sucks that it happened to DJ LeMahieu after he signed the 5-year extension with the New York Yankees that offseason, right? But hopefully he could get healthy. Maybe I'm not sure if it's this year, maybe it's next year, but whenever it is, I just hope this injury is not a career ending a career alternating injury, or something that could affect him long term. That's the only thing I care when it comes to injuries with players. I just don't want to see players affecting long term or their career being altered because of an injury. I think it sucks. We've seen so many great players that their careers come to an end because of injuries. When you look at the NBA, Brandon Roy, a perfect example. I love Brandon Roy when I was in high school. The knee injuries, they got to him. Same thing with Tracy McGrady, and there's so many different players you could put into that conversation. We got somebody else that jumped backstage. I'll bring him up in 1 second, my guy Chris. NFB, I'll throw it over to you to get your take when it comes to that conversation about DJ LeMahieu, and then throw it over to my guy Damian. Go ahead, NFB.
Man, DJ. Sad, man. I want to see him make a comeback, but we'll see. That foot's been an issue for him, and it sounds like it's going to continue being an issue for the time being. When does he come back? I mean, I was having this conversation on my live stream just a little bit earlier. I'm thinking it's probably going to be around May or June if I had a guess, right? Foot injuries are nothing to mess with, but he's needed. He's needed on this team because what happens if let's just say God forbid if like Rizzo gets hurt, then what? Because they're they're lacking at first base. They are lacking big time at first base, and they don't really have a first baseman. Who do you put there? The Yankees bench is not solid, right? But there's nobody on that bench that could really play first base. So, what do the Yankees do? That's the question. Let's just hope these next 2 weeks the Yankees can ride it out. But DJ's presence is being missed. I know some folks will disagree with me on that, but he still could play some defense. I mean, the guy is he's great with the glove. And I don't know. I hope he's not out for the season. That's what I'm hoping for. But where, he's needed here. And, and then John Birdie, he's also out too, but hopefully we're getting John Birdie back soon. But DJ's that guy though, that we do need. And it's obvious at times because some games, the defense looks absolutely lost. It's routine plays become, very complicated. So, that's why I say that DJ was in there. He'd be making those plays. I feel confident in that, but hopefully he makes a comeback, man. Hopefully he's not out for the season. Hopefully this foot injury is nothing more serious than what we're hearing, but we got to wait and see.
Yeah, I think John Birdie at this point, he's like the French army in Desert Storm. They were there, we just never saw them. Go ahead, Damian.
Man, the one thing that bothers me about the DJ situation, the conversation last week, we talked about him coming back, but I was looking at the reports. There were doctors, they pushed him back from his rehab from Friday till yesterday. And if they pushed him back, there was a problem. So my thing is, again, it's with the medical staff. Why is DJ out there in the first place? Why is he playing? If you stopped him from doing a rehab on a Friday, and then what made the difference from a Tuesday? You saw a problem. You saw a problem with the healing. You saw it wasn't healing correctly. So now, again, if this is DJ pushing, then you have to protect the player from himself. No different than a fighter. Fighter gets his head knocked off, wants to get up and wants to fight. You protect that fighter from himself. You need to protect the player from himself. So to me, a Friday rehab to a Tuesday rehab start is no different. It wasn't going to heal overnight. It wasn't going to heal completely in 3 days. So again, why is DJ out there? Why put him in that situation to hurt himself and ultimately hurt the team? I don't get it. I really don't get it. I wish him the best. I love DJ, but I think this is a situation that could have been completely avoided if they would have let the foot heal properly. And then clearly they didn't.
Yeah. No, I listen, making great point. I got somebody backstage. I got Josh Hart's evil twin backstage, my guy Chris and from Yankees Pod. Chris, let me get a thumbs up. Let me know you're ready to rock out. I got the thumbs up. My guy Josh Hart's evil twin, aka the doppelganger of all doppelgangers. Chris, I'll throw it over to you, my guy. How do you feel about La Machina, aka the Texas Instrument, DJ LeMahieu? Go ahead.
So First off, T's and P's to DJ, man. He's a workhorse. So it sucks to see such a good guy, decline the way he's been declining. When we had our predictions before the season, I thought DJ was going to be back. I really did. I had him penciled in for like 280 ish, because when you're such a
Yeah.
good hitter like that, you don't really lose that. And I don't want to drag it on, but hopefully he's all right. But I got to be honest here. I don't see him coming back. I think that foot is really bad. And NFE, I'm with you, bro. I would love, because I think me and you have agreed on this. His defense makes a difference in this lineup, whether he's
Yeah.
hitting or not. His defense will make a big difference. But it just seems like it's foot, 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 foot. How much can that heal in the next month or two if it's been that bad for so
True.
long, right? But again, I had him coming back this year and doing good. So T's and P's, and shout out to DJ. I hope he gets back, and maybe if he does come back in June and can only play certain days, that'll help him for the longevity turn. Because remember, it's not just this year. This is DJ for another 2 to 3 years on his contract. So
2 more. This year,
yeah,
next season.
Yeah.
I think he has 3 years left on his contract. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, so T's and P's to him, man. I hope DJ gets back, because again, we called him the machine for a reason, right? Like, he was not only a great hitter, but when it came to hitters, and when he had people running runners in scoring position, he was probably one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're gonna miss that bat. So
Mhm.
once again with him, T's and P's for sure.
Yeah, he signed that contract extension in the off season after the 2020 season. The contract is on the books until the end of the 2026 season. So we have this year, next year, and the following year left with DJ LeMahieu. He will be a free agent in 2027. So yeah,
He's
15
retiring in
million a season.
2027.
He's a free agent in 2027. And this is the thing. I've seen some Yankee fans saying, "Oh, well, if he's injured, he should just retire and he'll be able to get his." No, you got the way the CBA is set up. You got to be able to just show up. You can't, if you have 3 years left on your contract and you retire, you're not going to get those other 3 years. You and that team could probably work out on a buyout, but you're not going to get all of those years. Look what's going on with oh my God, with Steven Strasburg and the Washington Nationals. Steven Strasburg signed that contract extension after they won the World Series. Injuries, never the same pitcher. He can't pitch right now. Doctors say he shouldn't be pitching right now, but the Nationals expect him to be there in spring training and during the regular season because they're paying him to be there. So they expect him to be around his teammates so he could be a leader to them when he physically cannot do the job that's there. Go ahead, Chris. I'll throw it over to you. Go ahead, my brother. My fault.
To Dame's point too, if the foot was bothering him Friday, why throw him out on a Tuesday? Like, this is why our trust with our medical staff is so bad. There's never transparency with our medical staff, and then they put our guys like Rizzo last year. We can circle that wagon. Like, obviously the world seen something was wrong because he was hot. He runs into Tatis, they put him on the IL, comes back, and he's lost. You don't, when you're a veteran like that, you don't lose that much of a gap. The world's seen it. Like, what's up with the medical staff, bro? I think sometimes, like, and again, like, what Dame said, right? You got to protect the player from himself. We might have to protect ourselves from the medical staff. Like, it's sad that they're forcing these guys to come back, especially at that age. That doesn't heal overnight. If he was a young 23-year-old, all right, you take a chance. But when you're 33, 34, whatever he is at this point, like, you can't take that chance. Extra week or two, if that's what's needed. For the long term, I'm taking the extra week or two. Forget pulling him on a Friday and putting him back in on Tuesday. It didn't heal 4 days.
Made no sense.
I was gonna be like, what, Chris? In 2024, Americans, they don't have trust in the medical industry. That's crazy. Wow. Never thought that would be a reality. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I was sitting down for that one.
I want to bring up the lineup from yesterday's game. I want to go through the lineup real quick, just some bright spots and some low spots as well. Anthony Volpe, he was 2 of 5. He scored the run, had an RBI, 1 strikeout. His batting average is it was at 300, is at 293 right now Juan Soto, he was 1 for 3, had 2 RBIs, had a home run. He is batting .319. Aaron Judge, the captain, was 2 of 5, had a home run. That batting average is creeping up there. 191 still on the interstate. Giancarlo Stanton was 1 for 4, 234 on the batting average. Anthony Rizzo, El Calzone, he was 2 of 4. He had a home run and RBI. It's good to see Anthony Rizzo getting in the home run conversation as well, just like Soto and Judge. Gleyber Torres was 1 for 4. Hopefully that hit could get him going. Verdugo was 0 for 1. He had a few walks. Cabrera was 0 for 4. Austin Wells, he laid down a bunt single and he had another hit. 132 on the batting average. Good to see Austin Wells bringing up that batting average. And that was his first hit since August 3rd. Erica, I'm going to throw it over to you and then throw it over to Grace. I want to get your takes when it comes to the lineup. Who was your standouts? Who was your low points? Go ahead, Erica.
I mean, I think obviously the obvious standout was Aaron Judge because we are waiting for him to turn the corner. You know, famous Aaron Boone words. He's been close for so long, so for him to get those 2 hits, granted, I still don't know what that balk call was, but I'll take it. Right? It don't matter.
Same.
It don't matter. You take advantage of the hand that you're given. So, yeah, I mean, that's the lineup that we want to see, right? Even with Wells down there, I loved seeing what he did to try to get out of that slump. He had a hard hit where, for whatever reason, Rizzo was waved home, so he got the green light, but he was out by like a mile. But that was I mean, if it's a different runner at second, that's an RBI for him. So I like that I see Wells in 2 games in a row. That's been a big issue with me. It's the Trevino, like the platoon with a catcher doesn't work the same way as a platoon with anybody really, but like 1 game on, 1 game off, nobody's going to find consistency with that. It's a good thing that Trevino was able to get hot with what he was given. But I think Austin Wells has the higher ceiling, and he's the better offensive guy, especially in the bottom of that lineup. But yeah, I mean, everything was clicking yesterday. I hope that nobody is gonna look too into Cabrera going 0 for 4 and being the only Yankee not to get on base. He's been doing more than enough to start the season for us to give him a pass on that 0 and 4 a game. I have no worries. And you guys notice Cabrera's doing the Soto shuffle?
Yeah. He started like those at bats. That's the Juan Soto effect. And I just want to say this real quick. And I throw it back over to Erica. The only other baseball player that I've seen in my lifetime, right, or probably relevantly in the past 10 years, to have that kind of effect to a lineup was Yoenis Cespedes. Yoenis Cespedes, when he was with Oakland, was phenomenal. He made that entire lineup better. You remember when they traded him for John Lester and the Oakland A's, they just went down a hill because their offense couldn't score. When Yoenis Cespedes went to Queens, he turned that lineup upside down, and that's the same effect that Juan Soto has on the lineup. Sorry, go ahead, Eric. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, he brings us. I wanted to mention it before. He brings us swag. Look at the clubhouse. You got Verdugo wearing a do-rag on Stroman days. There was memes talking about Steinbrenner rolling over in his casket, seeing just Stroman with a do-rag. Now you got 2 guys on the field with a do-rag. You know, with a big chain. You got Soto doing the shuffle. I like the changes, and you mentioned Swisher before. It just feels like he brought such an impactful just personality to the clubhouse that was very much needed to kind of loosen the guys up. You know, when you play in New York, it's easy to become really tense. Look at Gleyber Torres right now, and you know, Soto's he's having fun because he makes it look so easy. Where it's like, damn, this guy's so good. So, Soto, I was looking before. There's only been 5 games that he hasn't gotten on base. Do you know? I mean, not saying he's getting a hit every game, but he's getting on base. And only 5 times has he not. So he's got the stadium sounding like October and April. I was at the game where he hit that shot with the Rays. I've never heard it that loud in April before. And like you mentioned, Dominican flags. And dude, he's rocking the backwards cap.
Yes.
In the post-game interviews, reminded me of Ken Griffey Jr. You can't teach that. So yeah, I mean, but 1 through 9 in the lineup, it's what you want to see going forward. Hopefully we can continue that against the A's today and ride that into the series with the Brewers.
Yeah, go ahead, Grace. Erica, that was a great point. Also, folks in the chat, throw the 5 stars in the chat for Erica. That was a 5 call right there. Go ahead, Grace.
It freeze.
You good,
What?
Grace?
When Wells got hit,
You're
we're
us.
talking. Okay, I want to go back to Wells. When Wells got his hit last night. Say what? What?
No, you're good. I think there's a delay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. When Wells got his hit last night, I saw people in the dugout. When they cut to the dugout, I saw people in the dugout throwing water up in the air. Everybody was celebrating for this guy who's batting. What is he batting? Like barely over 100 right now. And I was like, this is the vibe. The team supports each other so much. Every single person on the team, they're all so close. And they know that Wells has been struggling and that we all have super high expectations and hopes for his offense, particularly. His defense has come so far. And we know him as an offensive player. And the offense just hasn't been showing up this year. And I remember he was kind of a grower, not a shower on offense last year when we called him up after the trade deadline. And then he started, once his back started getting hot, he stayed hot, until the end of the year. But I kind of kept telling myself that, like, oh, give him some time. His bat'll come around. When he got that hit last night, we were all so happy for him. I thought he was going to come in and become the starting catcher. Trevino just happened to get hot. I mean, randomly, but it's hard for Wells to get hot without consistent at-bats, but how can you bench Trevino when he's hitting? Like it's catch-22. But I remember even early in the year, I kind of like secretly on the DL, I was like, Austin Wells could be a dark horse for Rookie of the Year. If he comes up and he plays really well and he's got that offense going, he's on a high visibility team like the New York Yankees who are going to be in the playoffs this year. I mean, it could happen, but his bat has been so slow to come around. But now I'm hoping that he's turned the corner and that he can make waves. At the time when I said that, Jackson Holliday hadn't been called up yet. Even though I know he has his own struggles. Baseball's hard.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the Yankees, we match up with the Orioles coming up very soon. So I can't wait to see that kid Jackson Holliday. But no, you said it right there. Hold on, give me 1 second just because we had some folks in the chat. My guy D-Rod said, I was so happy that Wells got that hit. So happy for him. It's the start of something new. Absolutely. And when you look at this lineup, I'm just going to bring the lineup one more time. When you look at this lineup, Austin Wells at the bottom part of the lineup, I think it's going to be very important. Same thing with Alex Verdugo. If Alex Verdugo can go or can get hot, he can carry us, right? Cabrera, 0 for 4. I know Yankee fans want to crucify Cabrera, but I think he's able to go 0 for 4. You see his batting average, 266, starting to come back down to earth. So if Cabrera's starting to come back down to earth, and you got Verdugo and you got Austin Wells, they start to step their game up and they get hot for a couple of weeks. It just helps the top of the lineup more when you have the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters in your lineup contributing big time to your games. Chris, I want to throw it over to you because I know you got to dip out for Yankees pod. Go ahead, bro.
It's perfect. I'm glad you said that. That was the alley-oop I needed. Before I get out of here, I wanted to kind of touch on that as well with Volpe. I know there were talks, in the last couple, maybe week or two that, hey, the change in the lineup is the reason why he slumped. I thought he was going to slump regardless. If you had kept him at 6 and 7, that slump was coming, right? I mean, he was hitting 360. Like, there was no way that was going to continue. People get tape. They pitch them differently. And then, it's baseball, Susan, right? Like, there's slumps that are going to come. So I want to say I'm glad he got the 2 hits last night because people were starting to freak out. Oh, we need to put him back at 6 or 7. Look at it, but again, I just thought that slump was coming regardless of where he was in that lineup. If the change never happened, he was still going to have that, smaller slump. But again, 293, right? Like, there's not much to complain about. I think he's starting to work back into that role and figuring it out on the fly, and that's what you want from your young future shortstop. So thought that was great that he got those 2 hits last night, and I think that's going to continue. Yankees get the win tonight to get 3 out of 4. And as you see, I got the hat rolled up. Taliban, Knicks are going to war tonight, baby. Knicks are going to war.
That's right. Chris, appreciate you, brother. I'll see you out there on these Twitter streets.
Everybody, have a blessed day.
You too, Chris, my man.
You too, Chris. Make sure you guys go and follow my guy, Chris Nieves from Yankees Pod. He does amazing work on Yankees Twitter. I do a lot of Yankees post-game shows with him on Twitter. We may have a post-game space tonight. I'll let you guys know depending on my schedule and depending on the Knicks game, because we got the Knicks game later on tonight. Grayson Gio is going live tonight. First time ever on the live stream.
Nice.
Make sure you guys tune in tonight. It's at 8 o'clock, so make sure you're there because it's going to be a good time. So I just want to switch things up. I know my guy, the Save Situation in the chat, says he has a question for the chat and for the panel. Save, bring your question. Oh, here it is right now. Do you feel John Sterling got an appropriate Yankee-like tribute, or do you think it was second rate? I thought they have done more at am I overthinking it? Personally, me, I thought it was perfect. I was there for that game when it was happening. That was at the NYYU event. I know a lot of people was in the Audi suites. Myself and Uncle Tats, we was down there with the bleacher creatures because I wanted to be down there with the creatures while that was going on. I thought it was an amazing ceremony. Yesterday, after the Yankees won, what they did for the first time that I saw, my guy Keith McPherson put it out on social media. So what they're doing now is when the Yankees win, right before they play the John Sterling, right before they play Frank Sinatra, they play the John Sterling Yankees win. The Yankees win. That's right awesome. Before they play Frank Sinatra. So I'll be at the stadium next week or the week after. I'm going for May 4th. I got to get my Garrett Cole Star Wars bobblehead. You feel me? Shout out to Star Wars and Garrett Cole. I got to get that. But I'll be at the stadium for that day right there. But no, I thought it was appropriate. What about you, Grace? And then throw it over to Erica. What was your opinion on the John Sterling tribute? Did you think the Yankees did a good job? What was your thoughts, Grace?
I thought it could have been better. I didn't think it was bad. So I guess I'm feeling like it was kind of mid. They only had a couple days to put it together. It's not like he said, I'm retiring at the end of the season and that will be in. They had all these months to put together, flying people in to be there. Like, no, they had like 4 days or something. He kind of like out of nowhere was like, I'm done. And not only am I done, I'm not even going to put in a 2 weeks notice. Like you know what I mean? Like he was just like, I'm out. So not hating on John Sterling at all. He did his time, but I don't think they had just like too long to put together a whole bunch of pomp and circumstance for him. They gave him some gifts. They had the videos with the former players on it. That was really cool. They had him up there with his family. He's kind of like a low-key guy. That's what I've been hearing. I remember when they gave him the like cufflinks, they were like, these are sterling silver. I was like, sterling silver? Yeah. I was like, y'all ain't got no diamonds, no gold, sterling silver. And then I thought about later, I'm like, oh, his name is Sterling. Maybe he's into it. Like maybe it's like a nod to his name or something. I like, sure, okay. But I would have been like, that's all y'all got, sterling silver? I got silverware that's sterling. You know what I mean? like no, the Yankees. But I think adding his the Yankees win to the post-game experience at the stadium is such an incredible immortalization and a tribute to him that I hope they keep that forever. I don't know if they will, but I hope they do. That's really cool. And I think he's just kind of a low-key guy, and I think that's kind of how he wanted it. So in that way, it was kind of appropriate. They may do something else for him later in the season, you know, but
yeah, no, I definitely, I do think John Sterling is a low key guy, and I think the ceremony reflected his personality. I do believe he will get a plaque in Monument Park. That's another celebration for another day for the Yankees to have a John Sterling bobblehead day while he's being memorialized in Monument Park. I would love if knock on wood, because I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. If we do get to the World Series and if the Yankees do have an opportunity to close it out, if we're home, let John Sterling go into the booth. Even if we're on the road, let John Sterling go into the booth and let him call that last inning for the Yankees as they close out a World Series, if we're able to get that this season. Personally, me, like I said, just want to add one thing, and I'll throw it over to Erica. It's just listening to John Sterling. He said he was frustrated and he couldn't find it in himself to do the drive back and forth from his house to Yankee Stadium. Now, I'm not sure if he was driving himself or if the Yankees had a driver for him. I would expect, or I would hope as a fan, that the Yankees, a $1 billion corporation and franchise, had a driver for John Sterling to take him back and forth, and you didn't have this old ass man in his 80s driving back and forth from Long Island to the Bronx every day. Yeah, at least an Uber. You're right. Go ahead, Erica. I want to get your take on the tribute for John Sterling.
Really quick, I gotta head out, guys.
Yeah.
I just want to say it's a pleasure as always. Grace, pleasure sharing the stage with you, Erica, as always. NFE, my man Hector. Again, as always, everybody have a great day. I'll see y'all later.
Damien, you be safe out there, brother. Stay cool, stay hydrated. That's my guy, Damien. Go ahead, Erica. Let's get your take on the John Sterling take. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We still got over 250 people rocking with us. If you guys can, smack the like button and hit the subscribe button. Shout out to my guy, Gio. Unpopular opinion. It's in the building. Salute to you, Gio. I'll see you later on tonight for that live stream you got with Grace. Shout out to Gio and Grace. They are killing it. Go ahead, Erica.
I didn't see it live, but I saw some clips on Twitter for the whatever they had for him, and that TV situation was quite embarrassing. I'm sorry. Like, you're the Yankees and you're coming out bringing an 85-inch OLED screen to the legendary announcer. Unless you really wanted that, like, that was just embarrassing. You could have come out with something else, but it was, like you said, I think he needs a plaque out in Monument Park, and yeah, hopefully they do that later on. And he's 85, dude. I'm 33, and I'm not trying to drive from Jersey to the Bronx, let alone be 85 and go from Long Island to the Bronx. So I get it. If he didn't want to put in a 2 weeks notice, he did his time. But yeah, I would love for him to come back if it's with the playoffs, or just like special occasions, and be in the booth with Michael K, just so that we can get a little bit of that nostalgia back, because at this point it's just nostalgia. And the call, I actually noticed it when I was watching the game yesterday. I was like, holy crap, did they just do the John Sterling call before New York? And I was like, hell yeah, like, that's proper. That's what it's supposed to be. At least it differentiates between a loss and a win now, because I hate that they play New York after a loss. I wish they played some sort of like other rendition of it. If you really want somebody that, doesn't go to the stadium enough to be able to hear New York at Yankee Stadium say they heard it, like, maybe that's the reason why they play it every time. But at least now it can differentiate between a win and a loss, because they should not be playing New York after a loss. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it was, like I said, I didn't really see it live, so I don't know if I missed anything, but all I know is that TV situation, that was an L. That was bad.
Dude, I have something to say about that. Can I say something about that real quick?
Go ahead, Grace. Go ahead.
So I heard that was an inside joke, like that when they were asking him, like, John, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? John was like, I am looking forward to watching the Yankees on TV at home on my couch. And that's what he was telling everybody in the front office and in everybody when they were asking him, what are you going to do now? Like, in retirement, he kept reiterating, I want to watch the Yankees on TV. I want to watch the Yankees on TV. So that's why they gave him the TV, but they should have explained that in the ceremony, because it was not a good look if you didn't know the backstory, which I didn't know until later. And everyone was commenting on social media and everything else. The TV was not cute. Like, but they didn't explain the context, Yeah.
Yeah, no,
well,
but
now that I know,
with the TV, like Grace said, it was an inside joke. Not only that, John Sterling is a very, is old school guy. Like, he is stuck in a time warp of like the 80s or 90s. Like, he has an original flip phone, cell phone that you can't text. You can only call and receive calls from it, so he doesn't text people back and forth. So even when it comes to his TV, he has a very small, not smart TV in his house. So when it comes to Amazon, he ain't know where to watch the games. So that's why they got him an 80-inch, and it was a Samsung or a Sony TV. It was an expensive TV. It wasn't like an off-brand like Frigidaire or anything like that. It wasn't one of those brands. It was an expensive brand. But no, I'm with you, Erica. It's kind of an L. They should have added something else on top of the TV. Give him a car or something. Give him an old school car. Like, John Sterling's been covering the Yankees for the past 35 years. You should have got him a vintage car from the year he started covering the Yankees on the radio, something like that, because John Sterling is also an old school cars guy. So you could have been able to find something I don't know. I'm just being, maybe I'm just
Yeah.
looking into it too much, but it's a good conversation to have. NFE, I want to get your take on it as well before we continue the convo. Go ahead.
I mean, I think it was a proper ceremony, right? I don't know what else people are looking for, and
A Rolex. Give him a Rolex. I want to see a Rolex.
Give him like 10 Rolexes. That's fine. But it's like Grace was saying, it kind of came all of a sudden, so it's like they didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare to give him like a goodbye, right? When you say on that day, like, hey, I'm, you know what, I'm calling it, I'm retiring, and you only have a few days to give him like a ceremony. I mean, what are you going to do? But maybe they'll do something for him later on in the season, or at the end of the season, or postseason.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, right? But I mean, it was a proper send off. The TV thing was hilarious, but I don't know what more you can ask for.
I don't know. Listen. I'm looking at these prices for these TVs. We got to get a verification. What type of TV was it? I see people in the chat are saying it's an LG. So you got two LG. You got two type of TVs like LG, right? 83-inch LG at Best Buy, $899. If that's the New York Yankees, I'm sorry, you're just being a cheap ass bastard if that's what you're giving John Sterling. Now, there's an other LG TV that's a OLED. I don't know what the hell that is, but that's a $9,999. I hope the Yankees got him that one. That TV, LG OLED, 83 inches, $9,999. I hope that's the TV that they got him, and not the, what was it? I said $899 from Best Buy. At some cheap shit.
First of all, it was sponsored by that brand. The Yankees didn't pay one dime for that TV. Let's be real.
Makes it even worse. That makes it worse, Grace. It makes it even worse.
Cashman's really taking the luxury tax serious, man.
Saving up for Soto.
Soto. You can't buy new staplers. We got to save up for Soto, guys. I'm gonna bring Grace right here. I just want to go through the pitching from last night, and this is the last topic we're going to go around. I'll read it off real quick. Clark Smith, his season record is 2-0. He pitched 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He gave up that 1 home run, 92 pitches, ERA 3.55. Listen, through the first 5 innings, Clark Smith, he looked unhittable. That third time through the lineup, he gets lit up. It's batting practice every time he gets that third time through. But Luke Weaver, who, I don't know, I think Luke Weaver and Ron Marinaccio are the same person. Just one person has a wig and the other one doesn't. They look identical to me. But Luke Weaver pitched 2 2/3, zeros across the boards, 3 strikeouts, 30 pitches. He has a 4.02 ERA. Ian Hamilton, he closed out the game, 1 inning, zeros across the board, 11 pitches total, a 3.07 ERA. So I'll throw it over to you, Grace. Give us your take real quick. I know we talked about Clark Smith earlier, but what was your thoughts on the pitching performance from yesterday? And let's throw it over to NFE and then Erica, and then we'll close things up.
I feel like Clark Schmidt was fine. He's building on his previous starts a little bit. We all want him to go deeper into the games, but it is what it is. He's been fine. I don't think he's been like great, but he's been fine. Weaver has been not as good, and last night was successful, although you have to say, unfortunately, no offense, it was the A's. Same thing with Hamilton. Looks like he kind of got back on track because, he was looking like nails at the beginning of the year. And then we started to see like some little bit more vulnerability from him. But last night was really good. But again, it was the A's. So I don't really know how to judge that because it's almost like a handicap, handicap as in golf. And, because.
Yes, no, I
let me be clear.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a subtle pause when you did it that I'm laughing about. Go ahead.
Erica's like, but yeah, it's almost like that because you're like, how can I really truly judge this outing because it was against who it was against? No offense. No, poor A's. I know. Anna said poor A's. I know. And it's sad seeing them have those signs that say sell even in Yankee Stadium. It's sad what's happening to them.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently OLED means organic light emitting doids. Okay, I know what that. Okay, I know what the doids are. Okay, thank you, Jonathan, for that
done.
one. I'm gonna
can't.
throw it over to you, NFE. I want to get your take on the pitching from yesterday's game. Again, thank you so much, Jonathan, for that. My guy Gio said a 2-week notice, you get a 9K TV. Quitting immediately, you get a $900 TV. Shout out to you, Gio. Go ahead, NFE.
You're good. You know what? Clark Schmidt's looked great this season so far. Yeah, the only problem with him is he just can't get through the lineup the third time around. But he's looked pretty solid. You know, he's looked pretty solid. I think the starting rotation in general has looked solid, even without Cole. You know, you look at their ERA as a whole right now without Cole, their ERA is just over 3. It's like 3.04, I think it was. So, and that's without Cole. So think about that. So imagine when Cole comes back. But as far as Schmidt goes, he still pitched great yesterday. He gave up that 3-run shot. He still has 6 strikeouts. You know, Luke Weaver, he's been looking good too. I just think that there's been a couple of games where they left him in there for too long.
Yeah,
and he started choking a little bit. But if you let him pitch the way he's supposed to, just not leave him in there for too long, he's going to be fine as well. Luke Weaver's looked good, and he's filling in that role of pitching multiple innings, and Ian Hamilton. It's Ian Hamilton. I mean, he's looking good too. But for anybody who thinks who's still thinking put him in as a closer, no, don't put him in as a closer. That's not a good idea. But he's an 8th inning guy. Put him in the 8th inning, and if the Yankees have a large enough lead, then yeah, put him in the 9th inning and let him close out the game. But as far as the pitching staff goes, overall, I'm happy with the starting rotation, and I'm happy with the bullpen. The bullpen's been fine. I just hope these guys don't get burnt out or overused. That's my only worry with this bullpen.
Copy. Just want to highlight. My guy Eli says, happy NFL draft day. Eli, listen, I just hope the Giants, they don't do nothing stupid. I just hope. I want Daniel Jones gone. I'm not sure if any of you guys are Giants fans. I want the Giants. As much as I want the Giants to draft, to get rid of Daniel Jones, I don't trust these quarterbacks that are in the draft. I don't think they're good enough to make a gamble on it. So as much as I don't want to see Daniel Jones as a quarterback for the Giants, we may have to suck it up and try to get the best skilled position player at that point in the draft. Anywho, back to the baseball conversation. Erica, I want to get your take on the pitching from yesterday's game against the A's, and we'll get ready to close it up. Go ahead.
Let's go Jets. So I just gotta say, with the starting pitching, especially yesterday, or pitching front to back, has doing what they're supposed to do, is beat up on these teams that you're supposed to beat, basically. So I understand that, they're the A's, they're still an MLB team, but you gotta come to play whenever you face anybody. So they're doing just that, right? And hopefully it helps them when it comes along to play against a team that has a much better, like the Brewers this weekend. So with Schmidt, he's very efficient. Like he has like a shaky first, and then he like really buckles down, and he was having like he had a 5-inning a 5-pitch inning, then he had like a 9-pitch inning. Like, he's very efficient. So I really want to see what's going on with him, that the third time around the lineup he just loses his command, because that's really what it is. He just kind of keeps everything up in the zone. So it could just be fatigue. Maybe he's just not used to pitching at that level for that long still. Does that mean that he comes out of the bullpen eventually? I don't know. We'll see what the Yankees do. But right now, I'll take it. I was hoping that he didn't give up that 3-run shot, because then we would have had 4 pitchers out of our 5 under a 3 ERA, which is insane considering the schedule that we had to begin the season. So, but he didn't. So he's above 3.
Yes.
But for a while there yesterday, he was under 3 ERA, and I was like, damn, 4 out of the 5. That's impressive. So, but yeah, and I think Luke Weaver, man, he's an unsung hero, because we have seen so many games where our starters have not gone long because they, there's a lot of walks that are given out, or they're a lot of foul pitches, so they're getting pulled out of the games early, and Luke Weaver's always there kind of to follow up. And yeah, he's had bad games. Maybe a game against Toronto, he gave up, I think, a home run in Cleveland. But the past 3 games, he hasn't given up any earned runs. I don't even know if he's given up hits. I haven't really checked. But he's been an unsung hero out of that bullpen. just as far as a long relief guy, which is very much needed,
Yep.
especially in the beginning of the season when you're on pitch count limits and just you're working through your stuff against major league lineups. So I appreciate what Luke Weaver's doing. Ian Hamilton, like Grace mentioned, is the A's. But he's still coming out and doing what he's supposed to do, which is very important, So yeah, I mean, you can't say enough about this starting lineup. I mean, starting rotation. I'm just hoping that the lineup follows suit and plays catch up and continues to put some runs on the board so that they're not pitching with so much tension in the beginning of the game, like trying not, like pressing where you like I can't let them get on base. I can't give up a hit. I can't give up the long ball. Like even a solo shot feels so detrimental when the offense isn't producing. So yeah, I mean, let's just you can't ask for more, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, and especially when it comes to the rest of the starting staff. Nestor Cortez, he goes tonight. He has a 3.41 ERA. So if he gives you 4 2/3 of 5 innings of scoreless baseball, he could bring his ERA potentially under 3 to fit in that mark that you was talking about earlier, Erica. But talking about the game later on today at 7 o'clock, Yankees versus the A's. The Yankees are projected. This is all from ESPN Analytics Sports Predictor. 74.7% Yankees are favored to win this matchup against the A's. 8.5 is the line when it comes to runs. So I'm gonna ask you, Erica, over and under. What's your thoughts for tonight's game? How many innings are we getting out of Nasty Nestor? 8.5. Are you taking the over? Or are you taking the under? And then we're gonna throw it over to NFP and Grace, and we're gonna close things out.
It's hard to say with Nestor because it's all about his command, right? He doesn't have the hard enough like stuff, so his control is very important, and I think we really won't know until maybe the first or second inning, because it's like Jekyll and Hyde with him. He's either going to be phenomenal and get you 6 maybe 7 innings, or he's going to give up some runs in the beginning, and then lock it down, but he's going to have a shorter outing because of the struggle in the beginning of the game. But it's the A's. From what I'm looking at, they've barely even seen him, so that's good. So I'm hoping that he replicates what he did against the Rays, and hopefully the offense doesn't replicate it and actually puts up some numbers. So I'm gonna say, man, I think I'm gonna go over, and I think I'm going over because I think the Yankees offense will continue to stay hot.
Yeah, Alex Wood, just for context, the starting pitcher for the Oakland Athletics, he is 0-2 with a 7.89 ERA so far this season. He's pitched in 21 innings. He's giving up 33 hits, 19 runs. So it may be batting practice for the New York Yankees going up against the lefty Alex Wood. NFE, I'll throw it over to you. I want to get your take. 8.5. What are you taking, the over or the under on this game? And what are we getting out of Nasty Nestor?
I'll go, you know what? I'll go under, and then I'll go under. I got Nestor going 6 innings. I think he can pitch 6 innings. If you could get 6 solid innings out of Nestor, I'll take that all day.
Okay. All right. Grace, I want to throw it over to you. What are we getting? What are we getting over and under 8.5 runs? And what are we getting out of Nasty Nestor? What's your thoughts, Grace?
Over 8.5 runs. You know what? Let's do it. I'll take the over. Let's just put up 11. And you said the pitcher has a 7 ERA. I just wanted to say that's better than Blake Snell.
Oh,
in case nobody knows, Blake Snell, shots fired. Blake Snell has an 11 ERA this year. I'm sorry, 12.05 ERA. So this guy's better than Blake Snell. I'm just no. But yeah, I'll take the over, and I think Nestor is going to give us. I want to say like at least like 7 innings. Let's. I think he can go deep tonight. That don't cut that.
You know what? Just for you telling me not to cut it, I'm definitely going to cut it now. And then
just
you bring up Blake's.
Just let it go. Let it go.
Let's let it happen naturally. You bring up Blake. You bring up Blake Snell, but I want to act like it looks like the Yankees dodged a bullet with this one. Credit to Brian Cashman and the Yankees front office Blake Snell, his
Yeah.
ERA is over 12, like you said. He just landed on the IL right now as well for the 15-day IL. It seems the Yankees dodged the bullet, not going out there and signing Blake Snell. I know I was a Yankee fan, was saying this is an all-in season. We got to sign Blake Snell. Cashman, what are you doing? No, he stuck to his guns. He showed me I was wrong and he was right. And at the end of the day, there's a reason I'm on a microphone on YouTube and Brian Cashman, who is a Nepo baby, is working for the New York Yankees. There's a difference. There's a reasoning why, even though he's a Nepo baby. Go ahead, Grace.
Yeah. I mean, I was one person that was like, I'm not really into Blake Snell. I wanted Monty. It's been well documented on the Morning Brew Sports Network that I said that, but I was like, yeah, if we get Blake Snell, sure, whatever, why not? But yeah, I'm thinking it worked out for the best, especially since he's now on the IL. And I think Monty fired Scott Boras for a reason as his agent, because those two guys sitting out spring training has proven to be a disaster. And spring training is very important, as we have seen in evidence when Carlos Rodon missed spring training and how he never really got going last year. And Judge missed a lot of spring training, and now he's been slow to get going. And, you know, I mean, spring training is important. Scott Boras made a mistake, and his clients are paying the price, and it's unfortunate. I wish that Juan Soto would be like, you know what? I'm good. Scott Boras, take several seats. I'm going to negotiate with the Yankees, and I'm staying here for it. These are the things that I wish.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think Brian Cashman, his name doesn't have the same cachet as it once did when we was growing up, Erica, because growing up, and this is something I bring up a lot, when I was in high school, and if you was to ask myself or Erica when we was younger, name me a sports agent in all of sports, the first person that's popping to your head is Scott Boras. We knew Scott Boras's name off the top of our head. It doesn't have the same ring to it. Erica, when I ask you, when it comes to Blake Snell, did we dodge a bullet?
Obviously we did. And then especially when you add on top of that our starting rotation has been performing to the way that they have been, it's just like, damn, maybe Cashman knows what he's doing. I'll give him a pass there. There's a lot of still that I've seen him do, and I'm just like, those were dumb decisions. But yeah, to Grace's point, this is a product of him not being in spring training. You know, you're trying to ramp up in a shorter window, and you know, you start getting away from maybe your mechanics, or your body is just like, yo, hold on, like we can't go from sitting on the couch to trying to pitch at a major league level in a couple of weeks, you know. Fortunately, Montgomery actually does look pretty good for the Diamondbacks, but he like you said, he got rid of Scott Boras. He realizes that this dude is, I mean, at the end of the day, he's all about his money. He probably doesn't necessarily care that this guy got injured, because he still got his money up front. So yeah, absolutely dodged a bullet. Good on him. I know that we were in panic mode during spring training. Garrett Cole goes down, and you think the worst. You gotta just find a quick fix. And yeah, maybe we were clamoring for Blake Snell, but I'm glad that Blake Cashman calm, cool, and collected and said, this is what we got. This is what we're going with, and it's working out so far. So, you know, shout out to Cashman.
Yeah, shout out to Cashman for that one. Just so everybody know, I know D-Rod asked me in the chat, what was the prop for Nestor Cortez on strikeouts? And I'm on DraftKings right now, and it's plus 145 for over 7.5 strikeouts. So you got to get the over on that one. NFE, I'll throw it over to you. Let's get your take on the Blake Snell situation, and then we'll close things up, brother.
Yeah, as far as Blake Snell goes, listen, I wouldn't have minded him, but not at the price he was asking for, because initially it was like they were saying 270 for 9 years, which was like, go kick rocks, you know. And I would have, the Yankees made more than a fair offer for him. That was the thing. They made more than a fair offer. So when him and Boras didn't take the offer, I'm like, all right, well, forget him. Who cares? I'm not going to lose any sleep over this guy. And Cashman did his job right. And, you know, that's, you know, so, and I do want to mention about Cashman when he was interviewed, like, what was it, like 4 or 5 months ago, and he kind of flipped out on the reporters. Well, you know, he might be onto something here. I guess they are a good freaking team, aren't they? So,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that, but no, the Yankees absolutely dodged the bullet. Now he's on the Blake Snell's on the 15-day IL. You know, it's his. He could have been playing for the Yankees, right? And he didn't have to wait all this time to sign with a team, but now he's unfortunately paying the price for it, and so is Scott Boras. So, whatever.
Yeah. No, definitely. And again, appreciate all you guys in the chat. I know this went longer than anticipated, but Grace Monroe, thank you so much for blessing us this morning as my co-host. Hopefully TC can join us. But Grace, you know, it's an open door policy. Whenever you want to wake up and join us in the morning, you're more than welcome to be my co-host in the mornings. Of course, my friend Erica from Yankees Twitter, and of course my guy NFE from the Strike. So make sure you guys go and follow my guy NFE. But like always, until next time, drink your water, stay hydrated, say something nice to yourself, and deuces, and Caputo. I love you, my guy. Later.